everybody, Don Zoldi here again, live from the Commercial UAV Expo in Draganfly's booth. And today we have with us Cam Shell, the CEO of Draganfly. Hi, Cam.
Don, great to be here. You guys do an amazing job as always.
Thank you, thank you. So, Cam did a keynote about some of Draganfly's work in Ukraine. It was a real highlight of this show. Tell us a little bit about your work there and what you had to say to the crowd.
Well, Ukraine, as it relates specifically to drones, has probably been the most impactful thing from our perspective on the drone industry. So much so that, I think previously, whether it was across defense or industrial, commercial, even the prosumer space, everybody kind of considered drones to be kind of, evolutionary and, game-changing.
Yeah.
What Ukraine has proven is that drones are not game-changing. Drones are the game.
They are the game.
That's
a great
the
point.
game.
Yeah.
And when we see what's just now been announced by Defense Innovation Unit, with the Pentagon Replicator program, if that's not indicative of where this industry is going and the role of drones, not just in industry but in society, that to me is the big kind of takeaway from the unfortunate conflict there in the last couple of years.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you think about that conflict and, me being a military attorney, international humanitarian law and taking care of civilians, the work you've been doing with demining there and the other humanitarian work with transporting blood, as an example, on the battlefield has been life-saving and phenomenal. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so, in terms of building out a use case around delivery, never even a few years ago did we think that we would be delivering insulin into besieged cities because...
Oh, insulin into sieged cities.
Yeah, insulin, it's one of those things that, there's so many people need it. Yeah. And that was the big call out that initially called us into Ukraine.
Yeah.
And then previous to that, in some of our contract engineering work, we did work with a couple of large primes around delivering blood on the battlefield. And at the time that we did that, it was science fiction. It was like, when's this ever, and it was like a hypothetical DARPA kind of blah, blah, blah thing.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's the AI on board those drones that's actually identifying people. We built a system that can actually, from the drone, take the vital signs of the actual people on the ground. So our drones can read heart rate, respiratory rate, blood pressure, blood oxygen levels, heart rate variability. Like this is what's so, like, the drones are the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's really unbelievable, like, the missions that they're carrying out. So to be able to see them do these humanitarian reasons or missions as opposed to, the scary Terminator 3 stuff that's easy to promote and
killer
think about.
robots, all
all of
that
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's so from that aspect, it's certainly going to be longer term, more impactful and more important than even the defense stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of drones being the game, you guys have some amazing drones in this booth. We did a live stream on Tuesday. If y'all missed it, go back to Full Crew. I know your folks are putting it around Twitter. It's on my LinkedIn. We walked through some of these platforms, but one of them was with Promodrone. We're going to talk to Jamar here again real quick. But Kim, let's talk about your impression of this show. You've been here now. Big reveal last year with Commander 3XL. This year, the Commander 3XL Hybrid. As you walk around the floor, what are you seeing or hearing that's exciting you that's maybe different from last year?
Yeah, so I think what we're seeing more now is more specificity around the actual use cases. So that, and to me, that's starting to talk about or starting to give a sense of the industry evolution,
like the professionalism.
And the maturing. So regulatory isn't a swear word anymore. It's not a barrier. The companies that have strong regulatory understanding and work and data, those are the types of things that I'm seeing that actually can answer those questions that customers have.
Yeah.
Right. So the reliability, dependability, the amount of data, all of that type of stuff is now coming to the forefront. Where 3 or 4 years ago, even last year, you get questions from customers that, even as a product guy, I'm going, in my mind, I didn't even think of that. What I mean? And then now it's like, those answers are just kind of rolling off of everybody's tongues because they've got more airtime, they've got more testing, they've got more regulatory, visibility and such. So so I see the actual customer use cases, being deployed more. Yeah. And then that's just completely expanding the whole, possibilities as well.
Yeah. Well, speaking of regulatory, big announcements here at the show. Aerobotics got the second type certification, and speaking of which, We're going to swap you out here, Cam, and you're going to tag out.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
with
you so
Oren
much.
here from Parazero. So come on down. All right.
Thank you.
So Oren, tell everybody who you are.
Hey, good to meet you.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Oren Aviram. I'm the VP Sales for Parazero. Parazero has been leading the drone safety since almost 10 years. And aerobotics, we delivered them a recovery system, a safety system years ago. We passed rigorous testing with them.
Yep.
We were the first to comply with ASTM. Based on our systems,
Yeah.
CNN received their first flight over people approval.
Ah, CNN. Okay.
And with their robotics, long testing, they're probably one of the first companies to receive ops over people, BV loss, in various locations all over the world, based on having Parazero systems on board and the testing. And now, finally, they received the type certificate, which is...
Yeah, so that's like, for us in the US, that's the second one. It's almost like one a year. I think the FAI guy was joking about that, like, oh, we're doing one a year. I'm like, that's kind of not funny. But it's great that it was your safety system that helped get them, right, to that certification.
Exactly.
So that's amazing.
And our reliability is such that enabled that to happen.
Yeah.
We have additional safety systems on a company called Speedbird. They have performed
Speedbird,
over
we love them, yeah.
10,000 commercial delivery flights based on, with their regulator approval,
Yes.
based on having our systems on board. We have systems on manned aviation.
And man, yeah, I know, it's amazing. And speaking of Speedbird, shameless plug, my article on Latin American drone delivery is in Inside Unmanned Systems magazine, featuring Speedbird and some of the other companies there. So huge fans of Speedbird and everything they're doing, and
Yes.
you're helping to make that happen.
Parazero is a key enabler, and we love Speedbird too.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Amazing.
So real quick, any other big announcements while we have this opportunity?
There will be something big coming out. I cannot share yet, but it will be
Aha.
a little bit like Jetson,
All right, like
having a system on
so
a manned...
eVTOL, for those that don't know what he's talking about, electric vertical takeoff and landing. We're talking the big aircraft here.
Yes, Jetson have, it's called PAV, Personal Air Vehicle, and they selected Parazero because of reliability, because of performance, to provide safety for their pilots. And we will soon have a few more announcements in that area.
All right, well, we'll be waiting, but in the meantime, we talked about this. You've been at this show before. It's not your first rodeo. What are you seeing on the floor or hearing, or just even the vibe that might be different from previous years?
I think it's a great show, and everybody's waiting to see how regulation develops in order to enable more operations.
For sure.
And let commercial side expand. So
Yeah.
I think one of the things that everybody's looking at is regulatory advancements.
Yes.
We
Fingers
started with aerobotics and we closed the
That's
interview
right. That's
with
right.
that.
That's right. Very good. Well, so great to have you on the
Likewise.
stream,
Thank
and
you.
looking forward to hearing more news.
Thank you very much.
All right. See ya.
Have a good day.
All right. Next up, we're going to have Robert Pineda. Robert is one of the co-founders of this company called ASTN Group that actually created the Valmy's augmentive artificial intelligence. If you guys missed our product demo with Ramel Martinez, who's designing this very unique multi-agent artificial intelligence, go back and check that out. It's on my website. It's on the ASTN Group's website. You can Google Valmy's, check it out. But Robert, this is your very first drone show.
Yes, it is.
So tell us your impression.
Overwhelming. It's just the amount that they use AI in their systems is fascinating. It's Draganfly uses it a lot within their systems, and it's just they keep it updated. And Caresoft really is an interesting company for us to look at, being a startup and launching our product. We're launching our product in November in Asia AI Expo in the Philippines. So it's just interesting to see just the one drone convention of how many uses they use of drones. It's just really interesting to see how Valmy's can fit in.
Absolutely. We were just talking to Cam Shell, Robert, about their use case in the Ukraine, delivering blood, and how really it's it's the artificial intelligence on board that's making such a difference there. So AI is everywhere at this show, whether you know it or not. And Valmese is going to make a big difference, I think, for this industry and so many others. So tell everybody how they can find you guys.
You can, it's valmese.com. If you want to get a hold of me while I'm here, just send a message to info@valmese.com and I'll get it. Or you can just go to ASTN, and Valmese is actually a subsidiary of ASTN, and they're both connected.
All right, very good. It is super loud in here, so I got to real quick find out what I'm doing. The Valmese Special Premiere?
No, what makes their AI special?
Oh, okay. So I apologize. For those that don't know about Valmese Augmentative Artificial Intelligence, it is multi-agent. That makes it unique, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Right.
And what else? Tell them.
It also ensures that the human is at the decision making of whatever the query is, and it doesn't hallucinate. And Valmese, all the code is written by us, and we own the code, and it's a patent pending, so it's not open source. So there's a few unique things about Valmese as opposed to other AI.
What I love about it too is the multiple use cases. So if you guys go to their website, check out all the different blog posts and white papers that are up there. I actually did one about a law firm and how a law firm could use Valmese to assist lawyers in their discovery process is one example. So much to do, but absolutely this drone use case, electric vertical takeoff landing, advanced air mobility, you guys are all over it. So great to have you at the show for this very first time. Welcome to our community.
Thank you.
All right, very good. All right, next up, we are going to get Jamar Williams in here. And Jamar is with Promo Drone. He was on our stream on Tuesday. So
again.
he's back again. And by the way, this man has been swarmed in this booth. People already ordering the Starlink X2 that they've coordinated and collaborated with Draganfly on. So, yeah, tell them a little bit about the Starlink X2, and then I want to hear your impressions of the show.
Awesome, I will. So as you can see, we've got LED-based aerial messaging. So take the concept. Maybe I'm not invisible, I don't know. So we're elevating your message. We're getting more impressions, more engagement, and more reactions, whether that's on the advertising and marketing side or public safety side that can be used to save lives and inform communities. So kind of a multi-pronged approach, but what we're so excited about is all the new use cases we hear about all the time.
Yeah.
So many people so excited about how they can use it in their personal lives, from weddings, birthday parties, to all types of things. Anything where you want to elevate your message, we're excited that the Starlink can do that.
I love that, elevate your message.
Yeah.
So what kinds of people are coming over to look at the Starlink? And you've got some pre-orders from the show already.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. What are those use cases? What are the primary ones you're hearing about?
You know what? What's been super exciting is the versatility of the customer base.
Yeah.
So we've had law enforcement, sheriff departments.
Yeah.
We've had people that represent R&B singers at record labels.
What?
We've had independent drone operators that want to use this as a monetization tool.
Yeah.
And kind of like a mishmash of everything in between. So it's been a little bit kind of like what we were hoping would be the case.
Yeah,
So it's turning out to be proof. So it's a lot of good validation, and we're feeling good about the fact that we have a wide variety of customers, but we're not so spread thin that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It's kind of living up to what our vision was.
Well, speaking of living up to your vision or your expectations, tell us about your impressions of this show. This is your third year coming here. We met here 3 years ago. How do you think it's evolved or changed over time? Like, what's different this year from previous years?
Yeah, I love that. One, these are some really good companies. I'm happy to see their solutions looking so solid and ready.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
really niches make riches,
Yeah,
right? Now
yeah.
we're seeing that kind of people lasering in on a specific use case.
Yep, and it's good to see some familiar faces here again that have kind of weathered through the storm, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the tech just looks really good. I'm really impressed. And we're collaborative mindset, so we don't look at like competition so much. We look at all of us are supporting the industry. When one of us is successful, we're all successful.
Yeah.
So to see all these companies here smiling, branded, having their technology on display that I know is going to be functional and viable out in the wild, just happy to see. So I'm very impressed with not only the show, but all of the participants as well. Very proud of them. And thank you as well. Very proud of you and what you're doing with it. So,
Thank you kindly. So any closing remarks? How can people find the Starling X2? How can they find you? What's
Yeah,
next?
our website's probably the easiest. It's www.promo-drone.co. Pre-orders are live, so it's only $1,000, fully refundable, so there's no risk at all.
Wow.
If you're interested in it, check it out. We'd love to have you come on board and have you try out the Starling X.2 for yourself. So we've got some very eager customers waiting, and we're excited.
Yeah, well, it's
to
the only
deliver.
thing that's looking like this on the floor.
Yes.
So super cool. Great job.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thank
Bill.
you.
Appreciate it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Next up, Tony Drummond from Titan Aviation is coming on down. Tony was actually on the Dawn of Drones yesterday. If you missed that, go back and watch it. Titan Aviation sponsoring the month of September on that podcast, dedicated to this theme of the future of flight. So absolutely check that out. Great to have you on the stream.
Again, Dawn. We spent so
Yeah,
much time together this
we
week.
have had a great week. Yesterday, Tony was moderating a panel about advanced air mobility. I followed her. Tough act to follow, by the way. So, Tony, first of all, tell them a little bit about Titan.
Yes.
And then I want to hear your thoughts about this show.
Okay.
Because you've been here a couple years, you come from general aviation.
Yes.
You've seen this industry grow and evolve. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, but tell them about Titan first.
Sure. So Titan Aviation, I'm Tony Drummond. I'm the president of Titan Aviation US. Titan Aviation is a private aircraft charter management company. We're moving into the advanced air mobility space to complement our current aircraft offerings and also doing a little bit in the UAS space. So the UAS space, let's talk about that for a second. I have a UAS company.
And it's
as
super
you know.
loud, so you might need to talk
okay.
louder.
I have a UAS company called Global Aero Management Group, so I've been coming to this show for quite a few years. One of them as a service provider, now as a consultant. And I definitely feel that there is a slightly less tick in booths, but the same amount of people walking around.
Okay, so less
that's what
exhibitors
yeah.
perhaps, but
I feel
more,
like more people. Like
more
there's
people.
At least 10 people that I met that were like, we didn't do a booth this year, but we needed to be here. And so again, like what I found with this show, year after year, this is a very organic show. You're coming here with a lot of like entrepreneurial people, family-owned businesses, people that had an idea and decided to take a risk and jump on it and know that they can make a difference. And it's super organic. So to be able to implement these companies with solutions and be able to provide them with some of that is a really important part of the game. So I'm happy to be here. I'm excited that we were here. I think it was a great show. Also, we brought in a lot of new material, like the Advanced Aerospace Summit yesterday. That was a great turnout.
Yeah, brand new, by the way.
First
A lot
time
of that
they
was
did it.
Tony's.
Thank you.
Tony's work.
We had this idea and brought in all these professionals that are already working in the space, using the use cases to kind of help propel maybe some solutions that we workarounds, if you will, to get us through some of this like muddy area with regulation. So I thought it was really good. There's a lot of questions and a lot of people came up to me afterwards and were grateful that we did it. So thumbs up to a successful Aerospace Summit. I hope we can do it again next year.
So what did you, besides seeing, what did you hear as you've been walking around or in the conference rooms, as you listen to some of these lectures or talks, that was new to you or surprising or something that the audience will want to know about if they didn't have an opportunity to come?
Yeah, what I can say is that we've upped the tempo. The tempo's gotten a little bit better. So last year, for instance, we talked about beyond visual line of sight flying, which is something we talk about a lot for scaling drone operations. And that there's been a huge shift from last year's show to this year's show in the ability to get those in a timely manner. We have the Drone Responder Summit here, so they're now training police and fire, huge amount of police and fire here.
We saw
More
a
than
group
last
from the
year.
UAE.
So did I. The women
So
cops.
there were women police officers
They were so
from
they
the
were-
UAE at Drone
Yep,
Responder
they're
Summit.
awesome.
It was just like, what? That was so
invigorated
cool.
to see them.
Yeah.
But no, that excites me because you understand the public safety side of this is the most important. Life-saving, being able to help medical
And visible.
supplies. Yeah, it's a little net over what we're currently doing to just really help a connector and enabling industry. So it was nice to see how many people from these police departments were like, you know what, this is a great solution. We're going to lead into it.
Yeah.
And those solutions and those waivers that they need. Drone Responders is in there teaching them, here's a quick way to do it, here's how you can get over these hurdles that are regulations, showstoppers, if you will. That wasn't happening as clearly last year. It was a little bit more foggy. So at least, I try to err on the side of positivity.
No, that sounds awesome. I totally agree. Great. So what's next for you, Tony, for Titan Aviation as we kind of move to our next speaker?
Sure, yeah. I will be traveling for the rest of the year to most aviation shows that are out here, the Air Taxi World Congress and National Business Aviation, National Air Transportation, ending up at CES. So I've got you can look me up on LinkedIn and find me on the road.
Yeah, she'll
happy
stop
to
briefly
chat.
to say hello to her family during the holidays, and then she's back out.
Yeah,
So,
and then, sometime around March, I'm going to take like a sabbatical for a month, so it'll be good. It'll be
There
all
you
good.
go. There
Have
you
a
go.
great rest of the
All
show.
right, see ya. Thank you so
Bye.
much. All right, we have got Lauren Young from Modal AI. So good to see you. Good to see you. So Lauren and Modal AI is a great example of a company that's wandering the floor, that is one of these technology ecosystem partners, right? That's looking for, that next thing that's out there with your Voxel 2. Oh, look, she brought demonstrative evidence. Tell us about Modal and what you're doing.
Yes, so my name is Lauren. I'm from Modal AI. Modal AI is a Blue UAS framework manufacturer of Voxel autopilots that are NDAA compliant and powered by the Qualcomm QRB 5165 SOM. What we do is we work with OEMs to get our Voxel boards, which access the companion computer and the flight controller, into their own bespoke drone designs. So it's great to be at CUAV. This is my first time coming here.
By the way, it was also her first CES, and I'm like
Yes!
walking around
Oh
with her.
my
That was
gosh.
so fun in Vegas.
So
yeah.
great to be with you
Yeah.
at all these conferences, showing me around and introducing me to all these new incredible people in the industry. But yeah, it's been amazing to come to CUAV to meet our partners and also talk with some potential new partners as well. And it's great and lively on the floor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you guys also have a big gig coming up, the PX4 Developer
Yes.
Summit with the Drone Code Foundation. I know you guys are very open source and you've been part of that community from the very beginning.
Yes, absolutely. So our autopilots do run on the PX4 autopilot flight controller. We're so excited to be a platinum sponsor at the summit this October. So if you're going to be in New Orleans, we'll definitely be there. And we have 3 talks as well at the conference. So we're really excited to share what we've been doing with PX4, how we're enabling the ecosystem, and how others can get on board with Voxel.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much
you
for
so
taking the
much,
time to
Dawn.
talk to us. Oh, wait a minute. You said this is your first show.
Yes, this is my
Okay,
first show.
I got to ask her.
Yes.
So, what do you think? Because you've never been here before.
Oh my gosh.
What's your impression?
Yeah, normally at the shows, I'm at the booth, working the booth, so it's great to walk around and see all the cool new technology. I
Yeah.
saw over at MFE, there was a drone that was flying vertically and horizontally. I think
I know the one you're
the
talking
company
about.
Valeris.
Yes. I took a video of them at
Yes.
Geo Week. It's
Oh.
on my LinkedIn. You could go back and find
I'm
it.
honestly so amazed by the industry and so proud of the industry for creating this new technology, and I really think that it's going to be great the next couple of years to see all these drones flying around in our skies, and hopefully with blue components in them as well.
Very good. Last
Thank you,
pitch
Dawn.
there. So great to see you again. All right, everybody. That is all she wrote. It's been a great show. It kind of wraps up today. Tony and I are going to be doing a fireside chat, answering everybody's questions live. So if you still have some, let us know. We'll try to answer those. But in the meantime, have a great one. Thanks for staying with us. We are out here.